What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Medalist, this time with episode 8. Looking forward to today. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find a different version with different subtitles, so I will just have to continue with these, unfortunately. But kind of butchered a couple characters, especially at the end of the last episode, so I will try to be keeping a kind of ear out for what they are actually saying. We met a bunch of characters last week, by the way, didn't we? We met the Pigeon Girl, who I've been looking forward to. Really like kind of quirky things like that. She actually ended up being quite a normal girl. But I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. Inevitably, we'll see so today as we're in another competition to get badges, I believe. I think it's like level 1 with a badge or something along those lines. We met a few characters competing in that at the end of last episode, as well as someone that goes to the same school as the Pigeon Girl, who is a rival to the black-haired really good ice skater. So again, lots of new characters to keep up with today. And let me know what you guys think about this episode though down in the comment section. Leave a like on the video if you guys would like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. And yeah, of course, she ended up misplacing her bag with her skates in, which is diabolical news. I said last week, if this happened to me where I'd forget my football boots and I went to football, I'd be so angry. Especially if I had to travel a long way. Because at that point you can't go home and get them. You gotta, yeah, you just gotta deal with it. Even worse if someone stole them. Someone stole them and sabotaged her. That's diabolical as well. What I will say is, surely there might be there might be some skates you can rent, I imagine, at places like this. I'm not sure if this is like a public ice rink, so if it is, then there might very well be. But yeah, that reminds me of being a kid with my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I once had a friend who was not really a friend, because I had a tin with all my rarest and shiny cards in, and he stole them. And it kind of reminds me of that. Obviously, we don't know if anyone stole her skates or anything yet, but like losing something that's really important to you like that is really heartbreaking as a kid. I think that's something I picked up from what someone said in a review the other day about this show. This show's children are actually children. They're actually depicted as like actual real kids. They've got like they feel like kids. Whereas a lot of shows, I do agree with, they do kind of feel like an adult writing a kid, which it is what it is most of the time, isn't it? But this show just makes it feel kind of natural. I feel there's a lot of like quirky moments and stuff, and the character right here is really good, is what I'm trying to say. I think someone put it really well. Like again, a lot of anime kids are actually kids written by what adults think kids are, rather than what they actually kind of are like. Ah, shit. Well, you're in Japan, so at least they didn't get stolen. Again, like probably anywhere else, those skates are long gone. Well, not really. Entonces, poto. 10 stops? Sounds like a lot. Surely we could also talk to the organisers and make her go last, right? Just to give us a little bit more time. Go Sukasa. I love the music playing right now as well. Oh, we got a while. Oh, we got ages. 2 hours. We got a while. We got a while. What did he say? It's 1 mile away to the train station, then 10 stops. We don't know how long 10 stops is, to be honest, do we? But 2 hours, it's doable. It's a long time for her to worry, though, isn't it? 2 hours of worrying. So I love the fact she looks back at that moment and it gets her fired up, because a lot of people that would be a really negative thing for you to keep in your head mentally. Someone saying that to you. I love the fact that she actually draws power from stuff like that. I've said this before, but I'm a really confidence based football player. If I'm not confident, I'm usually playing bad. He's got it. He's now going to be looking a little bit weird with a little girl's suitcase. But we don't care about that. That's the thing. Even if she's not working out mentally, her head's going to be going over and over things, and probably better for her to actually be doing something than thinking too much about it. Yeah, the one that, unfortunately, that again the subtitles made out to be quite rude last episode. Yeah, they actually, from what I heard, it was actually quite nice. The Outcasts. Speed skater. That's a lot of warming up, to be honest. I usually get to football about an hour, and I don't want to compete here or anything, but I'm pretty sure me playing a game of football is a little bit more, maybe not at the top levels, but yeah, I play football 90 minutes and warm up. I get there an hour before. I think it's a little bit more strenuous activity running around for like. I think I haven't played many other sports, but it's one of the most strenuous sports I've played. Football. Again, running around, sprinting for 90 minutes, jogging, sprinting, sometimes walking. And I usually get there an hour before. So what my point is, like, they got here at least 2 hours before this started, and it's good to be early. I like being early myself to many things, but sometimes you can overdo it and get there too early, and it actually be a negative that you're practicing too much and that you're warming up too much. I think it's good for Inori to do that right now, because her mindset is not in the greatest place. Obviously, losing her skates, probably best to take her mind off things. But if you're warming up, if you warm up for 2 to 3 hours before your ice skating thing, which is only I imagine a couple minutes, that seems a bit crazy to me, right? Like warming up so long for such a short, but I guess you could say the same about maybe like sprinters as well. Like their sprint is literally like 10 seconds, yet they probably warm up a hell of a lot. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the point is I'm trying to make here, but yeah, it's just interesting that she warms up for almost twice as long as I do. Yet when I play my sport, it's like 90 times as long as she'll be doing hers. It's interesting to think about. Again, I've definitely had it where I haven't warmed up, like it hasn't been an hour, like I've warmed up like half an hour before a game and have been totally lackadaisical at the start of the game and started terribly. I've also had it where I've warmed up way too quick, way too early, and for way too long that I've actually been a little bit too exhausted to play too well later on in the game. I don't know. Again, I study sports. I find sports such a interesting topic and stuff like that. Why he's the best man. It's almost like a planter in a sense. He like plants a beautiful tomato seed, and an Oreo will blossom into a beautiful tomato. But he is so good at his job, and he tenders to it every day. He puts the nutrients and the such on there, and it really makes it shine. I again, as a sports kind of person, so Casper would be a fantastic fucking coach. I love him. One of the best type of people you can work for. Someone that you actually like respect a lot, and you would they'd do anything to improve you, and you'd do anything to kind of, and you work hard for them. You work hard for yourself, but you work hard for them as well. Like I said earlier, I feel like we should have told the organisers this happened, and they could have put us last. Oh, sweaty, sweaty, sweaty. That is kind of like the one thing you need for this, isn't it? It's kind of a shame. Like, I mean, you obviously the whole outfit's important, but surely yeah, the most important thing is the skates. So I understand that guy's point there. Tie them around you, make sure they don't leave you. The dressing up and such can come after. Oh, I see. So they've all got to like go as a group. So it isn't a case of her like asking them to go last. Okay. So I'm quite guilty of doing that as well. Not in the same way. Sorry to pause again, but on another point, I've never had growing pains in my life. I did start smoking quite early on in my life, about 13, 14, so maybe I would have had growing pains. But smoking stunted my growth, perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, I've never had growing pains ever, I don't think. But I'm guilty of something similar in terms of I really want to play football, especially if I haven't played football for a while, and especially this season. I've had a few injuries with my leg. It started out behind my knee, and then that didn't get better for quite a while. But I played on it anyway, and that's what I'm getting at here. I unfortunately just continued through injury, and I think that's actually made my injury a lot worse through my whole leg. I feel like the rest of my leg has had to make up for that kind of weak area. So now my ankle is a little bit more unstable, and I've been getting quite frequent injuries with that recently. But also my groin and my upper, and I think again that's because there's been added stress to those areas because they're having to make up for a weaker part of my leg. And this all could have been avoided if I just took a couple more weeks off, but you really want to improve, you really want to play, and you feel like you're letting people down if you don't as well. I didn't play especially well the game I got injured, so I really had that feeling of, oh, I want to make it up, I want to play better, I want to play important matches and so on. Whereas the best thing to do would have actually just been to take some time off, but that's just not how your mindset goes. That's another thing. I didn't want my position to be like for someone to come in and do a good job in my position, and then I wouldn't be able to get back in the team and stuff like that. So I was playing well before that, had a bad game, got injured, and it's like, oh shit. Now, if I take a few weeks off, will I ever get back in the team, and so on and so forth? Oh, sorry, my neck's a bit. I'm rooting for you, Pigeon Girl, as well. I'm rooting for you. Sounds like she's had a tough comeback. Nothing's ever impossible. Do you know what? I could understand that being quite troublesome if you're him. Oh no, your daughter used to deal me worms. A weird thing to be found out about you. Been exposed. She doesn't look awfully interested, does she? That girl. She almost looks quite bored. Yeah, doesn't feel like there's much effort been put into this. No. Pretty damn good though. Maybe she's just one of those calm people. Damn, she's fucking up the. Oh, that sounded really bad. Yeah, she's fucking up the whole ring. Good score. She's interested though, isn't she? She just doesn't seem to care at all. Oh. How do these guys? There's so much space. These guys somehow walk into each other. Oh dear. To be honest, I'm a little bit like that girl a second ago. I feel like I'm always quite cool and calm. I get nervous, don't get me wrong, for some games, but I'm usually like a consistent quality. People say I'm usually like a 7 or 8. I'm always like a 7 or 8 out of 10 when I play. Never have a terrible game. Never have a great game. Oh, that thing is gonna fuck that things up, isn't it? You can't hold that against her for stuff like that, right? I mean, inevitably they are gonna. Never be gonna hold that against her, but like that just feels really unfair. Again, when I play football, sorry to pause. I'm just gonna go back and rewind this whole performance. Yeah, it feels really harsh. Again, in my Sunday league and Saturday league, when I play, inevitably some of the pitches are not going to be fantastic because of the weather and so on. And there's bobbles. There's like where a ball would usually roll straight. Sometimes it pops up. Sometimes you go for. Funny enough, my match last Sunday, that happened. One of my teammates where he went to clear the ball out and it bobbled just over his foot, and they scored a goal from it. And it feels really unfair, but there's nothing you can do about terrain like that. Again, it feels really harsh for judges to like hold that against this girl, but unfortunately they are going to hold it against you. And like I said earlier, that goal isn't going to be taken off just because there's a bobble on the pitch. That was circumstantial. Yeah, so you feel bad when that happens to people. It looks fucking hilarious when that happens though. Not so much in this, but when someone like goes to kick the ball and just absolutely misses it because it just takes a weird divot or something. But like, this is no mistake of hers. Yet she gets the consequences. It's lucky she didn't like twist her ankle or anything. Okay, it's amazing that so much goes through your mind in moments like this. You compute so quickly. You just get in a zone sometimes. And there very much is a zone when you play sports, I believe. Another good score. I definitely get in the zone. I feel like sometimes I overthink. Sometimes when I overthink, I get out of the zone and just start playing bad. But there's also like moments where thoughts just kind of flow into your head, and you just do things sometimes. Simplify your brain a little bit, and things just happen. So there's always a lot of overlap between any sports, as different as they are. So she avoids that little crack. This is probably not where your head should be. On other people. Focus on yourself. Smooth with it. Another really good score. Everybody seems to be coming in second place. There really isn't much between them, is there? Oh boy. It is, isn't it? Seeing all these different styles, all these different thought processes, and they all seem to be doing well. Again, I'm much more the case of think about yourself rather than what other people are doing in regards to sport. I think that's usually for the best. But that worked out for that girl. Sometimes vengeance and stuff like that is powerful. Sometimes negative emotions, although they weren't awfully negative there, sometimes they are powerful and more powerful than positive ones. Let's go, Nori. I'm hoping that fucking broken bit of ice rink won't get in our way. That's been in my back of the head this whole episode since we saw it. Inori and this random bit of ice rink that yeah, this random bit of ice rink that's been broken. Okay, good. Okay, good. So that's awesome. Imagine if they marked you down for that. Huh. Interesting. Slightly different technique to push off a bit faster. I wonder if she tests that out here. You wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to try anything new, but there's always room to learn new stuff, I guess, even when you're competing. Oh, we're not gonna see it. Oh man, that's a shame. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. As you probably can tell, there was a lot of relatable stuff this episode. As I said, even though ice skating and playing football are totally different sports, there's still so much overlap between any sport, I do think, especially mentally wise. Yeah, good episode. Good episode. It really went by really quickly, didn't it? I guess you did see quite a bit of ice skating today. As I said there towards the end as well, I've just in the back of my head, I've just got that broken bit of ice. Like one person's already been messed up by it. Inevitably, surely someone else will be, and I hope not any of them, but especially I hope it's not Inori. Da, da, da. Do you know what? I think I've done pretty well with the subtitles there. I don't think there was anything majorly egregious, actually. Of course, there were a few, yeah, but it wasn't as bad as usual. I think it is especially apparent during like the inner thoughts. I think that is when it's some of the most apparent. It usually kind of says the same thing, but in like a much longer, long-winded kind of way. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. As I said, a good episode today. A lot of worrying, of course, with the whole skate situation, but the best coach, Tsukasa. Again, I think he's incredible. I really love his enthusiasm. But he's just like it's just a good person. And when you work with a good person, again, you work off them, they work off you. You do things for them, and so on and so forth. And obviously, he went out of his way a crazy degree to get our skates back, which is awesome. But yeah, looking forward to seeing an always performance. We had a couple of performances here which were all really good. We didn't ever spend too much time on a specific one of them. I think this girl kind of took me by surprise. Where's she at? This one. She kind of took me by surprise because she just looked like she didn't give a fuck the whole time. But she actually done really well. Now look at her face. She's like dozing off. But yeah, she done well. Unfortunately, she has kind of ruined the rink a little bit and messed up a few other performances. Impressive by this girl to still get a really high score considering she actually slipped up on that bit of ice rink. I'm also now thinking as well, like, for these judges, again, in football, it's just a thing of like you score. Like, there's no judges or anything. There's a referee that referees the game, and they get a lot of shit. They're not. To be honest, with my experience, they've never been like great. I've never seen too many great referees, but on the other end of things, they always get a lot of crap from players and supporters. So it's no wonder. But there's not like a kind of official judging. I feel quite bad if I had to, as an adult, having to kind of judge these kids like this. I don't think it could be a job I could do. I don't think I could ever give a kid last place. Like I just feel absolutely terrible about that. I can never give like a kid like a 0 out of 10. It would just be way too horrible. It make me feel way too horrible. So that is a job I don't think I'd ever do, being a judge on something like this. But as I said there, this was a really smooth and nice performance here as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the pigeon girl. I'm looking forward to seeing her performance here, and Honori's of course as well. But again, just got that horrible bit of broken ice in the back of my mind. I'm saying it way too much. It's inevitably going to come up, but let's hope it doesn't. Do let me know what you guys think about this episode though down in the comment section. As I said, quite a lot of interesting talking points in regards to psychology and sports, but also in a kind of physical way as well. But yeah, leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. And I'll see you guys next week with episode 9, I believe it is.